Hello and welcome to Balatro for Dummies. This is a comprehensive guide to the stepping stones of Balatro, and this is going to be, in my opinion, probably one of the best ways for a new player to dip their toes into what exactly goes on in this poker roguelite video game. This first episode is going to be all about value, getting the most value out of every hand that we play and every joker that we pull from the shop. But before we do any of that, I want to recommend two different settings to flip, as I think that they could be easily missed in a game like this. So firstly, I would recommend turning the game speed from 1 to 2. 1 is incredibly slow, and 2 is just good enough to be not too slow, but still slow enough to see everything that's going on when you're first starting out. And the other thing I'd recommend is turning on high contrast cards. This makes it incredibly easy to differentiate the spades and the clubs, because if you turn them off, they are both a similar color, which is not good. But besides that, let's get right into it. So yeah, we're just going to go in, and I'm going to explain everything that's going on, and we are going to try to maximize the value out of every hand and every joker that we play to get the biggest points possible. Let's go. Okay, so there's a few things to know here before we get started. There are 8 antes in a run of Balatro, and there are 3 rounds within that ante. A small blind, a big blind, and a boss blind. To clear a blind, you have to score the minimum requirement of chips, which in this one is 300. To score these chips, you have to play poker hands. And I'd never played poker before playing this game, but actually getting situated with the poker hands is actually very much easier than you would think. It's comes along very quickly. So as you can see, all these hands have this blue number is the chips, and this is the multiplier, and you can hover over to see what exactly you need to do to score each of these hands. And yeah, you have 4 hands every round, 4 discards every round. Both of these can be up to 5 different cards. And yeah, these are skips. I would not recommend this right now, especially with the ones given to us. It is much better normally to play the rounds through because you want to get all of the good stuff. All right, so there's a few things to note here. We are going for the value. There's a few things to note in this hand specifically. We have drawn 4 diamonds, which is incredibly close to a flush. But we've also just drawn a full house. But with prior knowledge, I do know that this is not going to win. We need a pair of something bigger than a 6, but drawing a trio of 5s is very good. So if we're wanting to maximize to be able to win in one hand, the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to try to go for a higher full house, like a king or a jack. It is also worth noting that I could also go for the flush, but I'd have to draw not only a high number, but also a high number diamond, which is probably harder to do than just getting another high number. So with that in mind, we're going to keep these, and we're going to keep these, and I'm going to discard. And look at that. We drew a pair of jacks and 3 5s, and this makes a full house, which is a 3 of a kind and a pair. So this will be 40 times 4 starting off, but then it'll add 20 from these guys and then 15 from these guys to this number, which will be 75 exactly. Which 75 times 4, of course, is 300. Look at that. Incredibly efficient. So the round we scored, we got $3, and since we had 3 hands remaining, since we won with 1 hand, we got $3 more from that. So that brings our total econ up to 10. And oh my God, it's our boy. That's my boy. That's the profile picture of this account. That's our boy, the baseball card. Now this is great. Hear me out, right? We're gonna get a little spicy. This is the first joker. I've never bought a joker on this account. And this is our boy. This is Fate. Okay? We are going to maximize this boy to our fullest potential. Okay? So this is the baseball card. Uncommon jokers each give 1.5 times molt. Now, that means fucking nothing right now. And a new player, you have no idea what this means. But let me cook, okay? So with that being said, we're just going to go next. We don't even need to bother. And look at this. Shop as free uncommon joker. However, we might not be able to win this. So instead, I'm going to go here so I can get my money up. Because we want to win. So now, another important thing to note is that we can't win in one hand anymore. So now we want to try to maybe play a big hand and a semi-big hand. Something like a full house and a 2-pair, or a straight and a 2-pair, or, you know, a straight and a 3 of a kind. These are things that can most likely win. I am kind of close to a straight. Not really close to any flushes. Kind of close to a full house, but that's risky to go for. So what I'm going to do... Alright, none of these guys are spades. So I think I'm going to play this 2-pair. And then I'm going to play this diamond. And we're going to play it. And then we're going to see if we can get a flush going. So that's 124. That's pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and start discarding for some spades here. Oh, and we drew a 3 of a kind here. That's pretty good. All right. Well, then instead, I think we're going to go for this here. So we're going to keep the 8. And then we'll drop the king here. See if we can get a pair. Here, look at that. So we're going to play this. And this should win. Look at that. So we desperately need a joker right now that can give us flat molt. Something that is not multiplicative. So that we can steadily win these next few rounds. Because multiplying when you have no base doesn't really do that much. This is another multiply guy. But he is uncommon. So it does give us something. And that's pretty good value, right? As we were talking about before. So this is a planet card. This will upgrade any poker hand that's associated with. This is Jupiter. So this will upgrade the flush, which is all of the same suit. This will give it +2 molt, +15 chips to the base here. So it would be 50 and 6. And then you can just keep buying them over and over. The Celestial Pack gives you 1 to 5 to choose from. And then the Arcana Pack gives you a bunch of buffs that you can apply to the cards in your deck. Just so we can get some uncommon guys started, and just because I like this guy, I think it's the Vampire, we're going to buy this guy. So basically, if I put a buff on one of these guys and play it with the Vampire, Vampire will sanction it off, and then he'll gain 0.1 molt. And this can happen obviously a lot, and then you can get it up to really high numbers, especially since it's so early in the run. We can get the most value possible. And not only that, it is an uncommon joker, which means every hand you play will get 1.5 times molt for holding this guy. So we're gonna buy him. All right, the boss blind, the club. All club cards are debuffed. You can still play club cards. That just means that when you play them in the hand, you're not going to get any points for the base that it scores. So, we are getting incredibly lucky with these draws right now. We've gotten a full house once again. So, since if we played a full house, it would go to 60. And then it would go to 72. And then it would get times 1.5, which I think is 6.5. And that makes sense to me. I feel like that's going to win. I'm pretty confident. Let's play it. Nope. I was a bit off. That is okay, though. All right, so we've got 9s and 6s. We still have a bunch of discards. So I'm just going to discard for one of those. And look, we already drew it. These guys are debuffed, but it should not matter because of the baseball card. So yeah, no number added to the total from these guys. And there we go. A little bit sloppy there, but we'll get into it. From the round total, we got 5. And then from our remaining 2 hands, we got 2. $7. Wow. Okay. This is crazy. Okay. This is amazing. Wow. Okay, hold on. I gotta take a drink for this. Okay. So this card, all played face cards become gold cards when scored. A gold card is a card enhancement that goes on to, that can go on to anything. It basically means if you keep it in your hand, at the end of a round, you get $3 extra, which is pretty good. However, we have the vampire, which means if we play face cards, they will become gold cards. And then the vampire will suck them. It'll suck the gold off. Ugh. It'll take the gold and then it'll add it immediately. So this is value all the time. Not only that, but this is also an uncommon, meaning we will get another times 1.5 from the baseball card. So we gotta buy this. We gotta buy this. And since we can't afford anything else, we're just gonna go into the next round. All right, so we are on an ante 2 out of 8. We have to do this, 7 more times, 3 rounds every ante. You can skip if you want, but I would not recommend. One thing I would recommend is looking at the boss blind every time before you go in, making that a habit because it's really easy to forget, and then it's really easy to throw your whole run. So this one is cards played previously. This ante are debuffed. So just like the club one last time, any card that I've played in these 2 rounds will be debuffed in the 3rd, which shouldn't matter too much. Okay, so since we have this, and we're wanting to get all this value, we want to immediately start stacking up our face cards synergies. So I'm just going to start hard discarding for face cards here. Look at that, we drawn some 2 pairs. Okay, so once again, just want to reiterate, we are going for value. We want to get the most value possible combined with our hands and our jokers. So since I know that every card I play is only adding to this more, maybe it's not the best idea to try to win in one hand anymore. Rather, I should try to win in multiple hands so that I can stack up this vampire as big as possible. So rather than playing a 2 pair of face cards, I'm going to play a pair and then these boys so that I can get the buff, this can take it off, and then I can hopefully not win in one hand, and I can keep doing this over to make this bigger in the future. So makes it gold, took it off. This happened twice, and yep, only 161 points. So since I'm pretty confident that if I play a 2 pair or a full house, I'm going to win, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to play this jack. Adds a little bit more. And this adds up over time, of course. We're going to do the exact same thing. This would be really embarrassing if I lost here. But it is okay. All right, and we drew the king. And we're going to play 5. And then this is going to go up to 1.9 already. Ante 2. Look at that. Look at that. Incredible. Not the best round for money, for econ, but great in the long run. All right. Unfortunately, we're too broke to buy anything, and these are good picks. Especially this. That's pretty good. But we're going to have to keep it going here. Hopefully, next round we can buy the voucher. Okay, so since we have a 3 of a kind and 8s, I am going to try and win in one hand here just because I want to buy that voucher. So, but I'm also going to try and get some value here. So, okay, we're going to do this. Hopefully we win in one hand here. All right. We should be able to afford the voucher. I'll explain what it is in a moment. All right. Yep. We can get it. All right. So, this voucher, I don't know if I explained what those are before, but a voucher is a permanent upgrade for your run. All of them do different things. This one is particularly good for us because we are working on stacking up this vampire. And what this does is it reverses our ante. It takes us back to ante 1, but minuses 1 hand. And since if we can take this time, these extra rounds that we're going to play to stack up the vampire and therefore make it even bigger and get the most value out of it. So, we are going to buy this. It minuses 1 hand, but we are already pretty strong. And this is also pretty good, but we're going to go next. So, cards previously played this ante are debuffed. So, we know that we are going to win pretty easily here. So, I'm going to discard all these. And then we are going to fish for some face cards. Getting pretty unlucky here. All right, very unlucky. We're going to go ahead and play this. Hopefully we don't win. Actually, we'll do this. I didn't even see this. We had a straight. This is much better. Yep, because we'll play all the face cards. We'll win in our hand. Boom, let's do it. Up to 2.4 times. Almost a percent. So we are at the start of ante 2 once again. All right, so there's a few things here. This is a Death Tarot card, which you can get from these Arcana packs. It converts 2 cards, one into the other. So this is actually pretty good for us because we can take a card that's not a face card and turn it into a face card to give us more synergy for all this stuff. This is a Saturn. It upgrades the straight. In my opinion, when it comes to the best planet cards to get, Saturn is pretty high up there. It has the quickest scaling multipliers out of pretty much all of these, the 5-hand ones. The full house, the flush, and the straight. And the straight flush. The straight flush is obviously a little better, but the straight flush is much harder to get. But the straight scales much better when you get planet cards compared to all these other ones, believe it or not. But our game, we don't really have much set up for straights right now, and I feel like it'd be better to spam a bunch of face cards. So with that in mind, we can buy the death here. And another thing to note is that every round that you play, if you have $5 or more, you're going to accumulate interest, which gives you even more money. And this is every $5 up to $25. So since we have $5, that means when we win this small blind here, we are going to get an extra $1. So we are able to get the most out of this right now. So we can keep going here. So yep, we're back at the start of ante 2, 1 less hand now. And we are going to keep it pushing here. So we're just going to get a bunch of face cards here. Keep the 10s. All right, we drew 3 8s, so we're going to do this. Wow, getting really unlucky with these draws here. All right, cool. Okay, we're going to do this. Once again, since I know we're pretty stacked on winning here, we're going to play the pair. And we're going to get another face card here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this 6 and I'm going to convert it into a king. All right. And then now I'm going to play this, since I know that this full house is going to win for sure. Okay. And now we're going to play the full house. All right. All right, so this one is not very good for us. We have to play a straight that also has an ace. A straight is the ones in order. So you have to play an ace high straight like this. An ace, king, queen, jack, 10. Every time you play one of those, it gives you a random card from here. Not too bad. This one just creates 2 random tarot cards, which is not bad at all. This one, you get to select between 3 and apply them immediately. This one gives you a random card to add to your deck, which right now doesn't really make much sense to me. Personally, I know that we're going to win the next round, and we haven't really been too efficient with our money, so I feel like we should just go next. Okay, and we are going to do something very similar here. Since we don't have the assurance of the death card up here, we probably won't go as hard with the goofy hands. With this, though, however, we're going to play this because we are very close to a full house. Okay, we're going to discard this. Wow, that's a lot of kings. It's also important to note, this is a little bit of an advanced strategy here. It is a good thing to not play the 5 of a kind. Because what happens if you play a hand that isn't on this list, then it immediately gets added to the, where is it here? It immediately gets added to the pool of planet cards. So there's already a bunch of them. So if you play a hand that's not here, you get one more, and that's just one less likely chance for you to get the one that you really need. And you're not going to have many opportunity to play of a 5 of a kind, so maybe it's good to avoid that, even though it's pretty cool. So we're going to do this instead. All right, so this is up to 3.6 on ante 2. That is incredible. All right, so if first hand of a round is a single 6, destroy it and create a spectral card. This is pretty good. Not only is it an uncommon, which only makes the baseball card better, but it is able to thin our deck of cards that are not face cards. What sucks is I already destroyed a 6. That is incredibly unfortunate, but this still just gives us more points, so I'm cool with it. This is also pretty good, because we haven't been able to pick up any planet cards, which are the best way to get just flat chips, besides a Joker. And this synergizes with our face card build. So we're going to get this too. So every face card we play gets 30 chips, and this won't affect it. The vampire won't affect it at all. So, since we have $5, let's go next. Sorry if I'm going a little fast. I'm trying not to. This run is exciting. Look at this. This is ante 2, and we've got all this synergistic stuff. This is incredible. All right, all heart cards are debuffed. That is a little stinky, because we have a lot of heart face cards, but it shouldn't be the end of the world here. We are going to discard all these. And we can go ahead and play this 6. I'm pretty confident in our ability to win here. This is incredibly good. All right. So, let's keep it going. And boom, we've drawn a full house. So this blue seal, you put it on a card, and if you hold it in your hand, if you don't play it, then it will give you a free planet card for whatever hand you just played. So, what that means is I could put this blue seal on this king, and we could play a full house, and if we win from the full house, we'll get a free upgrade for the full house in the future. Boom. Look at that. Earth. We got $5 from the boss, 1 from our remaining hand, 1 more for interest, and we can use this, which permanently upgrades our full house. And voila. This is the base Joker. Just +4 molt. Not very good. Good if you have nothing. On an ante 1 if you buy this. Very cheap. And it can win you the boss blind. So not bad at all. This one is very good for chips, but you have to just play straights. We already have a chip guy, so we don't need him. This gives a random planet card. This one is actually pretty good. It lets you re-roll the boss if it's something scary. The boss right now is the wall. That is pretty scary. Just makes the chip requirement very high. However, we can prepare for the wall, and we don't necessarily need to buy this right now either. So, let's go next. $5 per blind skipped. That's poopy. Let's keep it going. No face cards, so we're just gonna discard. Get our boys here. Believe in the 10s. We're not gonna believe in the 10s anymore. Alright. Alright. So, I think we need to get our money up. So let's go ahead and just try to win here. This boy's at 4.2. That is amazing. Oh, look at that. 17,000. The wall is ours. Ladies and gentlemen, the wall is ours. All right. The bean. This is an uncommon Joker, but in this scenario, I wouldn't really take it because we can't have it forever. Because once, it increases your hand size by 5. So yeah, you get 5 more cards every time. Every round goes down by 1, it eventually dies. So we can't keep it forever, and we don't necessarily need it at the moment. This upgrades your diamonds. Just gives more molt when you score them. Not too bad. These are pretty useless at the moment. I guess they're not useless, because we can get face cards out of them. But I'm going to go ahead and buy... Actually... No, we're going to go ahead and go next again and get more money for our economy. Because once again, we're trying to get the most value out of everything. So, we've drawn 3 9s, incredibly lucky. Let's try to get some more face cards. Look at that. We've drawn the Blue Seal King, however. So we want to try and, and draw another king. And this is amazing. Look at this. So, let's play this. So now, from our full house, we're going to get another free upgrade. This is incredible. All right. Full house. All right. So, this upgrades the straights. This gives +5 molt when scored every time we play a face card. This is good. However, it's not uncommon, and we aren't really in a desperate need of molt at the moment. We are doing pretty well for ourselves considering that we are almost doubling the wall, which is hard to do. So, we're going to skip this for now. The Buffoon pack gives 1 to 2 Joker cards. I'm sure you already know this. What I'm going to do here is buy this. Just in case later we run into something that we can't handle. Like all face cards are debuffed or something. Even then, I don't know if we'd be in too big of an issue, but just saying. All right, so let's keep it going. The wall. So the only thing we got to do here is just make sure that we play a full house. So I'm playing a little risky here. Just hard discarding for the guys since we already had the pair here and the blue seal here. And yeah, I'm like that, so we did it. And boom, we're going to get another upgrade for the blue seal. So yeah, as you can tell, our whole strategy now is just hard discarding for the full house. Trying to get just the most value out of Vampire that we can every round without throwing the game. Chalkboard is an interesting pick. ×3 molt if all cards held in hand are spades or clubs. This isn't going to do much for us right now. We don't really need it right now, and we'd have to do a lot of deck fixing for it to be good. We also don't need this, which is +20 molt, -4 per round. This is a good short-term guy. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to buy the Arcana pack. Get a random upgrade for our deck here. So, bonus cards gives you more chips, which adds over here. The gold card is gives you money. This upgrades the suit. This removes 2 cards, and this doubles your money. It is important to know with this specific build that whatever buff I put on these will be destroyed by the vampire when they're played. So it probably isn't in our best interest to do any of this. Our real options here are to double our money or destroy 2 cards. And in my opinion, destroying 2 cards is going to do a lot more for us in the long run. So what I'm going to do is destroy the ace and the 4. I'll tell you why we're destroying the ace. In my opinion, the ace is probably one of the worst cards in this game when it comes to synergies and jokers that help it. The ace is almost useless, and it is the farthest card away from a straight if you wanted to convert it with tarot cards. So if I can, I like to just exile them. And we've already got some money. We're doing well on points, so we don't need an abundance of money at the moment. So we're going to get rid of those boys. And then we're going to go next. 5,000, 500, 10,000. So we know if we play full houses, we can win all of these every time, no matter what. So that puts us in a good spot. So we're just going to keep hard discarding for all this stuff. Since I know I have way more kings than anything else. Okay, not way more, just one more. I'm going to go ahead and do the risky play here for the 2 pair. Just to keep building up my vampire. That almost won. Incredible. We're going to discard 2 more times. 1 more time. All right. It is important to discard almost all of my discards just so we can fish for the blue seal, which is just free ways to upgrade our stuff without getting without having to spend money. This one's not very good. Synergizes with playing non-face cards, so we don't want that. We're not really playing flushes. We don't want this either. But I'm feeling lucky. Let's get an Arcana pack here. All right, there's some interesting stuff here. This gets 2 random planet cards. This is an upgrade to 30 extra chips. This, for example, if I did this on the 2, it would get rid of all of its attributes. So it wouldn't be a 2 of hearts. It'd just be a blank card that gives 50 chips. It's pretty good. Not for our build, but in general, it's not bad. The strength increases the rank of up to 2 cards by 1. So if I did it to both of these jacks, they'd be queens. And this makes it to where any card could be any suit. In my opinion, the best thing to do here is to upgrade both of these jacks into queens so that we can start focusing on just drawing kings and queens to make it easier to get our full houses. So I'm going to do that. So it is important to know if we draw any jacks that we're probably not going to be able to make it work, and that we could play the high card potentially just to get the vampire buff. All right, so we've drawn the jack. We are going to go ahead and just discard for everything else, though. We've drawn 3 queens. We're going to play this. 5.5, beautiful. All right, keep discarding. All right, let's keep discarding it more for the blue seal. Look at that. Incredible. Boom, times 6. We love to see it. All right, that's another upgrade for our full house. And I have been forgetting about the 6th sense completely. So this is not a good show of value. I apologize. This is pretty good for money. We already have our money situation sorted at the moment, so we're good on that. This is a very good buffable card, but it doesn't really work with our vampires, so we're going to skip it. Since we have $33, I'm going to go ahead and buy the standard pack. Hope we can pick up another face card. And look at that. We did. Has a free buff for our vampire. And then we're going to go next so we can get all of our interest points. All right, first hand is drawn face down. So what I like to do for this is just discard the bottom 5 because they're most likely not face cards. All right. So with this knowledge, we know that this could be an ace, this could be an ace, but they're probably not. They're probably all kings, but we don't know. So we're going to keep discarding. So we can deduct that this is most likely a full house right here. But we don't know that for sure, so we're going to... Actually, I'm going to play this so we can destroy it with our 6th sense. Another blue seal. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to hard believe that this, I'm going to hard believe that this is not an ace. That would suck. So we're going to put the blue seal here. We're going to do this. Rip it. Perfect. That was a risky play. We're going risky on this one. This run is pretty cool. So now we are going to get two Earths. Amazing. 6th sense is underrated. Look at that. $5 for being the boss. $1 for our remaining hand. $5 for having over 25. We're going to use both of these to upgrade our full house a whole bunch. And yeah, so let's take a look. Adds 1 stone card to the deck when blind is selected. This isn't very good for us because we can't play a stone card with a full house. This would be good if you could play a 3 of a kind or something. Or 2 pair. Just throw that on the end. Pretty good. We're also not playing flushes, so this isn't very good. What I am going to do, though, is buy this, which makes the rerolls cheaper. Just in case we find something worth rerolling for. And then we're going to buy the packs. So this will give us $15, which is pretty good. This will give us 2 random tarot cards, which is pretty good. Since we're pretty stacked on our jokers right now, our money isn't really a factor in what we need right now. So I'm going to leave it up to random. All right. So we're also going to buy the Celestial pack. It's important to note that if we get an Earth out of here, which we do, that means we can use the Earth here. And this creates the last tarot or planet card, so we can not only do this once, but then do this and do it again. All right. And since we don't care about flushes, we're going to sell that because that just converts to a suit. Boss is -1 hand size. We should be okay. Let's go. Over halfway through the game now. We are going to do our usual. We are going to hard discard for everything. And then I'm actually going to play this 6. I think that was our last 6. Yep. So now this guy, we can consider getting rid of him. This is useless. We don't want more aces in our deck, so we're going to sell it for the $25. And then we are going to keep discarding for the blue seal guys. We didn't draw them. That is okay. We're going to play. $208,000. Amazing. All right, bunch of money. This is pretty cool. It doesn't give more chips than this. It gives 2 chips for every dollar you have. So if we stacked up a lot of money, this could be big. But we're playing 5 face cards almost every round, and this massively exceeds this. So we're not going to buy this. This levels up the 2 pair. We're not really playing 2 pairs, but I think this is worth buying for 2 reasons. 1, you don't have to buy and use everything. You can buy and hold, which is important to note because we can buy and hold this and then open the Celestial pack, which means if we hold this in our hand, when we buy this pack, there's a 0% chance that an extra Uranus will be in this pack. So, which just gives us more likely chance to get our Earth. And since this is a good backup hand, in case we don't draw the full house somehow, we're going to go ahead and use that too. And yep, since we're at that $25 mark, oof. You know what? I was just dissing the bolt, but I did neglect that we have destroyed every single 6 in our deck. So this is not only useful for the 1.5, and this is also an uncommon. So not only does this just give us more chips, but it also enables this, so it is better. My fault, I didn't know your game. All right, so now, some more synergy. I can skip and get even more chips, but is that necessary? Not really, because we're already winning by a large margin, so we don't really need to do that. So we're going to keep doing old reliable here. I'm pretty confident in our ability to draw face cards now, so we're just going to hard discard for the 5 face cards. All right, we did not draw the blue seal. I'm going to go ahead and play some extra hands to see if we can grab the blue seal. Boom, we got one. That's good enough for me. Let's do it. So now we can start working on getting our money up, and if we can keep our money high, then we can drop this guy in order for another uncommon that can help us. I would not recommend picking up this uncommon because a straight flush is hard to do, and this is giving us value every hand we play. This will barely ever give us value besides synergy with the baseball card, so I wouldn't recommend this. What I would recommend is buying both these Arcana packs, so we're going to do that. All right, so we can convert to clubs, turn into lucky cards, which is just more fuel for the vampire, or get 2 random tarets. We're going to get 2 random tarets. Pretty exciting here. We can get a new face card. We can also get a 1 of 4 chance to upgrade any of our jokers, so believe in the wheel. Oh, we believed in the wheel. 10 molt, holographic, boom, incredible. Arcana pack. Boom. All right. So we don't really like flushes, so we are just going to upgrade this, which just gives us more fuel for the vampire. All right. Now let's go next. All right. So now we have some assurance in case we don't draw the entire full house. So we're going to keep hard discarding here. We've drawn the full house. So that means I'm going to keep this in case we're in a pinch, and we're going to play. This is coming together beautifully. 8.1 times molt on the vampire. Oh. This is incredible. Now, to be fair, I could have turned another card into another blue seal, but I think it would be better to do it to the king rather than the jack because we want to draw more kings and queens. All right. So, a few things here. This voucher is very good, but if we buy it, we're going to go under our interest mark, and we want to stay above that so we can keep the bull going. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to buy this $4 Celestial pack. All right, not the best choices. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the pair. The reason I do that is because there's going to be no situation where we play a flush. Definitely no situation where we play a straight flush. There might be a situation where I want to play a pair. So just to give it that extra edge, we'll do that. All right, and we're going to keep it moving. This gives money for discard. That's bad. Gives a spectral pack. Decrease the level of played poker hand. Thankfully, we've gotten 12 levels in the full house and constant planet cards, so this won't affect us too much, especially since we're scoring hundreds of thousands already. But we're going to still keep playing like we aren't so that we can get the most value possible. So we are going to discard the jack because I know I have less of those, and for another one of those. I'm going to also keep playing these random ones so that we can hopefully get a blue seal. Okay, I didn't think that was gonna win. All right, I have blundered. Okay, $10. All right, all cards are considered face cards is interesting. Is this where we pivot? So all played face cards become gold cards when scored. So that means every single card that we play will synergize with this. Plus this is uncommon. Plus this gives 80, so that's pretty close. So you know what? Let's do it. We're gonna buy this. All right, it might be winning plus, but that's okay. We're buying the Arcana pack. I'm gonna go ahead and not buy this because we don't have 2 open slots, and I want to save this for another blue seal. So with that being said, we're gonna steal this queen. All right, so it's also important to note that, you know, we can play non-face cards, but we still only want to play ones we have 4 copies of in case, and probably only play a pair of them if necessary. Just because we know we have a lot of other stuff. All right. So we're going to keep doing this, and we've drawn the other blue seal, so that means we are going to convert right here. Perfect. And then we're going to play the full house. So the points should be even higher now because we have 5 uncommon jokers. Woo! 8.6 Molt Vampire. All right. So, like I said, we're winning plus right now. But yeah, we're wanting to get the max value out of everything. So since we're winning plus, we can't really get much that's going to help us more. So let's go next, get more money to get our bowl even bigger. Decrease the level of played poker hand. How dare you? Look at that. We've drawn a full house already. Let's keep discarding for blue seal. We didn't get it. That's okay. We're going to play. Wow. All right, we're definitely going to get over a milli here, which is exciting. Over a million, first try here. 56 bucks. Okay. The Spaceman here is pretty good. 1 in 4 chance to upgrade level of play poker hand. Pretty good joker in general, but we've already got level 14, so that's unnecessary. This is really good because this is just more money. More money every round. More money for our bull. And yeah, we don't really need anything else, so let's keep going. Let's just stack more chips and more money. All right. Bosses only play 1 hand type this round, which is what we're doing anyway. And look at that. We've drawn a full house immediately, but we want to not play the blue seals. So we are going to hopefully... we have way more queens, obviously. There we go. Oh, wait. Nope, not yet. We're going to discard that. Is this going to win? I didn't even think about that. Oh, it's totally going to win. I did the exact same misplay I did earlier. I got to not do that. It's because of the bull. Because earlier I wasn't getting chips from the gotcha. Okay. So since we accidentally keep doing that, we're going to upgrade these. Oh, yep, I misplayed again. Because I should have kept one to open the pack with, but that's okay. It's okay because we're goated with the sauce. We get the full house every time. All right. Once again, we're going to buy this. We don't want to add this because we have no 6s in the deck. We don't want to make inconsistencies here. Gold seal is okay, but we have already got a lot of money. So we're just going to keep it pushing here. Upgrade full house by 3 levels is kind of funny, but we don't need that. We're going to keep going. It's always better to play your rounds out 1000%. All right, we've got the full house. So once again, you know the drill. We're discarding for the blue seal, and we're going to play the full house. We're not going to play a high card. All right, we're trying to break that milli threshold here. Oh, we did. Look at that. Incredible. Yep, and because we've picked up the seed money, we're able to get 10 bucks for our interest every round now, which is incredible. We do not need any more molt at all, so these are useless to us. We're just going to keep stacking our planet cards. All right. So now we're really only interested in upgrading ones that we might play accidentally in case we're in a pinch, which is none of these except for 3 of a kind. 4 of a kind, maybe. Actually, no, we'll go 3 of a kind. We'll do it. All right. Arcana pack. All right. So we've seen all these before. These upgrade suits. This is a random Joker upgrade for 1 in 4 chance. This creates a random Joker. Useless. And this gets 2 tarot cards, so we're going to do this. These are just 2 vampire buffs, so that's cool with me. Good to note, though, since a stone card completely removes the card's identity, you can't actually play a full house with a stone card, so this actually will mess up our whole thing, so we're not actually going to keep that. But we'll keep the gold card. Play only 1 hand type? Oh no. What will I do? Okay, we've incredibly drawn exactly what we need, so keep doing what we do best. Try to get the other blue seal. We don't. That's okay. We're going to put gold on you, and then we're going to play. I will say, oh, wait. Oh, you know what? I don't know why I'm doing that. I completely have been misplaying with that the whole time. What I should be doing is putting that gold on something in the hand, because it's become a gold anyway, and that's just a waste. I should... Yeah. All right. Well, we're all learning here. All right. We've got the full house up to max. We're going to go ahead and buy this as well. This just guarantees that every time we buy Celestial Pack, we're going to get our precious full house, which is very, very nice. So we're going to buy this and immediately get the full house over here. And yeah, let's check out the boss here. 1 random Joker disabled every hand. That should not matter. As long, we just need to make sure that we play our full house on something where this isn't disabled, or... Yeah, that's really it. This and this are 2 most important ones to keep alive. And the baseball card. These are the 3, actually, the most important ones. Alright, so let's keep it going. We could change the boss, but we don't really need to, in my opinion. Alright, we've drawn 2 blue seals, so let's see if we can get a full house. There we go. So one of the best things to do would be put gold card on one of these blue seals so that we can get money for them and the blue seal upgrade. That's how we maximize those right there. Alright, level 19. Level 20. Incredible. Let's go ahead and buy this Arcana pack. Death, perfect, and a blue seal, perfect. So we're going to take this 3 and return to a blue seal. And then, you know what? We don't need it, but we're going to get it anyway, because we're like that. So this has been actually a pretty good run in terms of maximizing stuff. I definitely have misplayed a few times, but this has been very educational for myself. And I hope it helped for you guys as well. Okay, important thing to know, I'm probably just going to win here. So I'm going to go ahead and play the 2 pair, because I'd rather upgrade the 2 pair than the high card. $111,000. Pretty good. All right. So let's get both of these. All right. This first Joker right here is very good, but we are very late in the run, and so it's not going to do much for us. So I'd just leave it be. I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade full house once again. One thing that is important to know, I'm not going to do it, but it is a thing to think about that I'm not, even though I have this, that all cards are considered face cards, I'm not really utilizing it. I am still hard discarding for the face cards. It is just really on the off chance that I don't get them. And this has the potential to help me every single hand, while this only helps me sometimes. So that trade could potentially work, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Since we're on ante-8, we're scoring far beyond our means. So we're just gonna keep it pushing here. None of these help us. Let's keep it going here. All right, this guy's been disabled. This probably best case scenario. So we want to hopefully draw the full house here. Well, we've already drawn a full house. Perfect. And look at that, boys. That is the very first run in Balatro for Dummies 1. Being able for the entire game to get full maximization of our baseball card by getting every single uncommon joker. Every single joker uncommon. And then we are also able to stack up our vampire with the Midas mask. And then we were able to stop buying things to maximize our money for the bull. And we were able to use our, whatever this is called, to give us assurance in case we lose. So we have multiple things stacking on each other for the most value. This is what Balatro is all about, truly. It is all about just getting things and mixing things with other things to make even bigger things. And yeah, even the blue seals are synergizing with our bull because we don't have to buy as many celestial packs. Just everything is stacking on each other. That is what I love about this game. That is what very important to have in your head when you play this game, is how can I play without rerolling and just take what I can get and make them work. Mind you, this is a very lucky run. I got everything I needed very early. So I'll have to run this back with this specific mindset at some point to show a lower point in this mindset, because this is very good. But this is also a very good way to show what the potential is and how things can mix together. So thank you guys for joining me on this journey here. I hope you learned something. I hope I could help you, and I hope that you will help me by liking and subscribing and telling me what you would like to learn in the next episode of Balatro for Dummies. Thank you guys.